Now that we sort of looking back in time a bit, what's it like reflecting on Shumperi now that maybe Shumperi's coming again? You know, like that's quite an iconic race run you did. The commentary with Pagey and Warner is obviously viral. The
Yeah.
run was amazing. Like I was there on site. It's just obviously just everything fell into place for you. But what was it like
Yeah.
winning that young and doing it in that fashion and winning a world champs before a World Cup and the pressure that comes with it? Like now that you're quite a few years on.
Yeah. So at the time, I was having a really good season. Like all year, I was like, well, I was in the top five in the overall at the end of the year. So the season had gone really well, and we'd had Val de Sol a few weeks previous, and I got second there to go in. So I knew I was on good form. And actually, in 2010, I qualified really well, but and then messed up the race, so didn't do very well in the race. But yeah, that leading up to that, I'd been in Morzine and just been having fun riding. And all week that week, I just had a good week. And the track was actually more sketchy at other times of that weekend. On a morning, we'd have like a really heavy dew, and the track would just be like so treacherous to try and get down. Whereas in that race, it had fully poured down, as we all saw. So like it wasn't the other end of the scale, but like it sort of was, because there was grip. Whereas when it's shiny and just damp, there was just no grip at all. So yeah, I just rode really, like, even to this day when it rains now, like Ludenville being the most recent example. It rains, I look out of the warm up tent and I'm just like, right then, well, no pressure now, just go and do what you can do. And it's sort of more more of a relaxed vibe, whereas some people may be like potentially fully stressed because like I don't even know how I'm going to get down. Whereas for me, it's like it is what it is at this point. I look around and I'm just like, I laugh. So there was the same then. We had Oscar working with us at the time then, and he used to do like our start like routine with us, and I was just like, right then, here we go. Like, there's the river, and that's where I'll be for the next 3 4 minutes, and that's what it was. I remember that weekend actually on one of the mornings. It must have been the sketchy morning, like dew wet practice. I didn't. I don't know if I caught G, but like G had a big crash in front of me, and I think, and he knocked himself out. And yeah, it was a savage track. And obviously, it wasn't what it was in. Was it '09? I wasn't racing then, but it was more Shumperi than in 2011 than it is now. Like this year, I went back and I was like, couldn't wait, and like I walked it, and there's like high lines and this, and you can just get in the what do you call it? It's like a bobsleigh track now, and but it's so steep, and you can just get in that like run, and you're trying to get up high on the banks. And like first run this year, European champs, I actually did like a YouTube course preview, and I was just loving it. But and then I didn't fall off all weekend, and then I crashed in the final in just a silly corner. But to be fair, like Kolb there this year was going to be fast, and it's going to be an interesting world champs. I was listening to Like talking about it the other day, and he was saying how it could be. It's so fast now. I don't know what they're going to have to do for the for the world champs, because it's pretty sketchy.
What if like the
It,
youngsters and some inexperienced people go down that hill?
well, yeah, and even the experienced people are going to be moving. Like this year,
Mm.
it was so fast and it was so dry, and it got so bombed out. European champs, like the helicopter was just on speed dial, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. But like there was 70-year-olds trying to ride it, and 12-year-olds trying to ride, or 13-year-olds trying to ride it. So the mix of ability was pretty huge. But
And I guess
yeah, it's
the
still
room for
Champery.
error there is a lot less. Like if you come off there, you can have a big one with how steep it is. Like there's other
Yeah,
tracks that are
especially,
fast, but there's runoff, or you can, when a mistake's happening, you can brake. There, I mean, it's
yeah.
almost too late if a mistake happens.
You literally like could do that run without a chain from, like, let's say you give somebody a rolling start to get off the start. You could do that run without a chain in the same time. Like you
And do you
literally
remember we
don't
did
need
heart
it.
rate? Do you remember we did heart rate tests?
Yeah.
And our
It was
heart
just
rate was
max
as
the whole
high
way.
as it was max the whole way. It was the same as Fort William. We didn't understand it. We didn't even pedal.
Funny story there. So World Champs, I was with my coach who I've been away and come back to Millway, and he had to get a flight home. I think it was the morning of the race, so he missed the actual race.
Oh shit! Shame, man.
But yeah, no, Champery is if it wasn't for that, my career would have probably gone maybe in a different direction, and that put me on a high for a long time. And it comes up on Facebook probably every couple of months and gets shared.
Yeah, that's the stuff like someone's grandmother sends to their grandson, or teenager. Like, look at these crazy guys that do downhill. That's like the run that gets shared.